Welcome to drillingcontractor.org. I'm Alex Endres, and I'm here at the 2017 IADC HSE&T Conference in Houston. And joining me today is Jim Spiegener. He's Senior Vice President with Decker Insights. Jim, thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure.
So can you first tell us about the 4 key characteristics that can help build a high reliability organization that you mentioned during your presentation?
There are these 4 things that I think, there are more than 4, but there are 4 that are really key. One is to change the focus from trying to manage injuries to trying to manage exposure. That's one. Second one is having good transformational leadership. Third one is understanding your culture and having a way to diagnose that, a verified way, or a way that has been tried and true through science. And then the fourth one is looking at the programs that you have and making sure that when you execute on those programs, you're executing well. Not adding new programs. Make sure the existing programs you have are working the way they're supposed to be working.
Also, during your talk, you mentioned transformational leadership. Can you explain that for us?
Yeah, Ken. Transformational leadership is where a leader doesn't think of the work as a series of transactions between themselves and their employees. What they do is they work on connecting the employees to the bigger picture. So they go after both the heart and the mind. They try to connect that 18 inches between here and here. And transformational leadership really means that you act in a way that causes someone to act differently themselves, and that's how you transform the organization.
What is the difference between a safety culture and a safety climate?
Okay, safety culture, if you read most of the real research on safety culture, culture resides at the assumptive level. So it's the things that people have come to assume are correct in an organization that work, and therefore they go about those things without even thinking about them. And they guide a tremendous amount of the behavior, and people don't even realize they're being guided by it. Safety climate, on the other hand, is something very different. Safety climate and culture changes very slowly. Safety climate, on the other hand, can change very quickly, and it's leader dependent, and it's really, to shorten it, the definition of it down, it's what gets expected, rewarded, and recognized in a company. So a leader can have a very dictatorial style, and people will respond in a very formal, rigid, cold sort of style. You could bring another leader in who's very open and warm and collaborative, and in a week you'll have people with a totally different set of behaviors. They'll be interacting themselves. So climate changes quickly, leader dependent, culture changes very slowly. Here's the interesting thing. Climate turns into culture. So if that leader who's very open comes in and stays that way for a significant amount of time, people will come to believe that it's okay to be able to speak up and be able to collaborate, and that becomes then the way of operating. So climate, if held long enough, actually turns into culture. And I tell leaders, forget the culture, focus on the climate, because it will give you the culture you want if you create the right climate and keep and be relentless about it and keep it stable for a long enough period of time.
Very interesting, Jim. Thanks for chatting with us today.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
And thank you, viewers, for joining us today at drillingcontractor.org.